Muy buenas tardes, queridos estimados participantes, dar la cordial bienvenida a cada uno de ustedes y felicitarles por ingresar de manera puntual a nuestra última sesión de clase, al curso gratuito de inglés avanzado C1. ¿Cómo estamos? ¿Cómo nos encontramos? Seguramente estamos muy felices por empezar nuestra última sesión de clase. Para nosotros es un honor tenerlos a cada uno de ustedes, es un honor poder servirlos. Nosotros estamos ubicados en Andahuaylas, Apurímac, tenemos oficina principal y propia en el Girón de Ayacucho número 528 para todos aquellos que nos quieren ver y también conocernos. Por otro lado, tenemos convenios con distintas instituciones de las cuales son parte de los cursos gratuitos. Asimismo, les presento a todo el equipo que vienen trabajando con mucho amor para cada uno de ustedes. Asimismo, invitarles a seguir nuestra página que ya contamos con más de 20 cursos gratuitos habilitados para el mes de diciembre. Por favor, aprovechar al máximo y pueden invitar a sus amigos, familiares o amistades, o si no, para mayor información, por favor, comunicarse con el siguiente numerito que está en la pantallita para poderlos ayudar a cada uno de ustedes. Este año estamos cumpliendo un año más de aniversario el 5 de diciembre. Para que usted pueda ser partícipe de este gran sorteo, primeramente tiene que cumplir los 3 pasos. Comenta tu experiencia y etiqueta a tus 3 amigos, comparte la publicación que sea público y síguenos en nuestras 3 redes sociales para que usted pueda ser partícipe de este gran sorteo. Comunicado importante, ojito aquí, sí, nosotros como institución no hacemos llamadas ni tampoco enviamos mensajes personales. ¿Quién les habla? ¿Quién les saluda? Soy la asistente académica, Mónica Costa, quien les estará acompañando el curso. Para cualquier duda o consulta, por favor, comunicarse con mi persona con el siguiente numerito que está en la pantallita para poderlos ayudar a cada uno de ustedes. El día de hoy nos va a impartir una hermosa clase y también su conocimiento es la maestra Jenny. Asimismo, aprovecho a hacer el reconocimiento a la maestra que va impartiendo su conocimiento en nuestra institución, el Tecnológico. Recuerden que es nuestra última sesión de clase. Por favor, recomendarles quedarnos hasta el último para poder entender sobre el certificado y sobre el examen. El día de hoy estaremos aprendiendo la sesión 4. Les recomiendo que tomemos una foto o una captura al temario para que tengamos en cuenta los temas que estaremos aprendiendo el día de hoy. Sobre nuestra metodología, recuerde que la clase es en vivo y en tiempo real, asimismo son grabadas y se enviará a su grupo de WhatsApp. Asimismo ya se envió el material, por favor ya vayan descargando. Así toda la información es a su grupito de WhatsApp. El día de hoy, al finalizar el curso, estaré dando algunas indicaciones sobre el examen y sobre el certificado. Al finalizar el curso, usted obtendrá un certificado con mención inglés avanzado C1 a nombre de nuestra institución. Y también recuerda que el certificado sale con 90 horas académicas. Usted me pregunta, señorita, ¿por qué sale con 90 horas académicas? Claro que sí sale, porque cuando usted va a tramitar tendrá como agregar el campus virtual habilitado por más de 2 años. ¿Cómo estaremos en contacto? Por esa razón sale con 90 horas académicas. Para que usted pueda tramitar, tiene que tener una nota mayor e igual a 14. El costo es muy simbólico de 30 soles. Es para mantener sostenible nuestra institución y para seguir brindando más cursos gratuitos. El trámite es opcional, pero como institución les recomendamos que tramiten un certificado. Recuerda que el certificado avala tu conocimiento. Como ya lo he mencionado, los participantes que van a tramitar tendrán como agregar el campus virtual. En el campus virtual usted va a encontrar materiales, recursos adicionales y también videos de las clases, ¿sí? Y también recuerda que el certificado cuenta con un sistema de código de validación que es el código QR. Para mayor información, por favor, comunicarse con la oficina de certificación con el siguiente numerito que está en la pantallita para poderlos ayudar a cada uno de ustedes. Asimismo, hacemos envíos a nivel nacional. De manera digital se envía a su WhatsApp personal por PDF y por otro lado que hacemos envíos de manera física a nivel nacional. Nuestra institución trabaja con la empresa Sharon. Muy buenas tardes, queridos Estimados participantes, dar la cordial bienvenida a cada uno de ustedes y felicitarles por ingresar de manera puntual a nuestra última sesión de clase. Para empezar nuestra última sesión y nuestra tarde, muy bendecidos, empezaremos con nuestra cita bíblica. Todo lo puedo en Cristo que me fortalece. Filipenses capítulo 4, versículo 13. Muy buenas tardes con cada uno de ustedes. En breve ya se estará conectando la maestra Jenny para que nos pueda impartir una hermosa clase el día de hoy. Muy buenas tardes con cada uno de ustedes, queridos estimados participantes, dar la cordial bienvenida y felicitarles por ingresar de manera puntual. Muy buenas tardes, maestra Jenny, ¿cómo está? Bienvenida, le cedo el espacio, por favor, puede activar su audio y asimismo compartir su pantalla.
Buenas tardes, señorita Mónica. Buenas tardes con los presentes. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, let's start our last session today. It's going to be about active and passive voice. Some classroom rules, as Miss Monica said, be on time. Thank you so much for the ones that are on time for our last session. Write your questions in the chat box. I will read them. And keep your microphone off during the session. And let's start with our welcome sign. Welcome everyone to our online learning platform. Let's embark on a journey of discovery together. Welcome everyone. I'm thrilled to have you here as we begin this educational adventure. Welcome everyone who is eager to delve into new ideas and expand your knowledge. Your presence enriches our virtual classroom, and I'm excited to get started. Welcome everyone to our digital gathering of eager minds. Together, we'll explore the wonders of our subject. Welcome everyone whose dedication to learning is commendable. Let's make the most of our time together. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. I extend a heartfelt welcome to each of you. Let's start our session. As we mentioned at the beginning, today we are going to learn about passive voice. This is a very important tense in English, and so pay attention, and if you have any doubts, please write your questions in the chat box. In English, we have two voices. What voices do we have in English? Can you tell me? Can you participate in the chat? Excellent. Very good. Thank you so much, Dante. We have passive and active voice. Very good. What's the intention of using passive voice? What is the intention? Why do we use passive voice? Any ideas that you can share maybe in the chat box? No? Passive voice is used to make things so that the doer of the action is not on the focus of that. For example, if you can see the picture here, James does the action. And then we have another thing over here, the ball, it's affected by the action. So when you want to mention the effect of something, so you will use passive voice. What we normally use is active voice to communicate. Good afternoon, Luis. So this is the intention of passive voice. Do you know the structure? I'm sorry. Do you know the structure to make a sentence in passive voice? Is there a special structure or just you have the subject, the verb, and the complement? When you make an active sentence, this is what you normally do, right? The subject plus the verb and plus the complement, right? This is what you normally do or use in active voice. Mhm. So in the passive voice, exactly, you use the subject and then after the subject you will use verb to be. And here, this is going to be the most important part of the passive voice, the verb to be, right? Because the verb to be is going to help you decide what tense are you talking about. If you are talking about present, if you are talking about past, future, perfect, the verb to be is going to absorb that tense. And all the time, when you use passive voice, you will use past participle of the verbs. All the time. It doesn't matter if it is in present, past, or present perfect itself. So be careful about it. We are going to see the structure in the next slide. The passive voice is commonly used in police reports, news stories, and mystery narratives to focus on the action performed rather than who performed it. The use of the passive voice can add a touch of intrigue and suspense to crime and mystery stories. So, as I mentioned before, you focus on the action, not in the person who does the action or who performs the action. Okay, so also this is to add a bit of suspense or mystery when you talk about, especially when you are reading newspapers or when you are watching the news, you will see that they are changing the way of speaking. What we normally use, it's gonna be changed into passive. As you can see here in my first example, this is a normal sentence you can make. The detective, that's the subject, right? The detective, and then you have the verb, solved, and finally you will have an object or a complement, right? The mysterious case. The detective solved the mysterious case. When you want to change this active sentence into passive sentence, you are going to start from the last part of your sentence to be considered the first element. It's going to be your new subject, like here. The, the mysterious case, it's going to be now your new subject, the mysterious case. And then I was talking about this part, this verb, solve. We need to analyze in what tense the sentence is. So, for example, in this example, the verb is in past. If you can see here on my second element, I am using was, and also I'm using again the verb but in past participle, solved. So the mysterious case was solved. Another thing that is very important in passive voice is the use of this preposition, by. Sometimes it's used, sometimes it's dropped. That's up to you. When the agent is understood, you can omit using by. But when you need to mention it, okay, you use by the detective in this case. Or the mysterious case was solved. You know already that it could be detective, it could be the police, it could be another person in charge of that case. Okay, let's continue. Another example. Over here in this example, we can see the thief stole the valuable painting. The thief stole the valuable painting, and now you need to change the object. It's going to become the new subject. That's why we put here the valuable painting. Again, stole is an irregular verb. It doesn't end with the D or ED. So stole, you know that stole is simple past. So here, that's why you have, again, you have was because the subject is in singular, was, and then you have the main verb stolen in past participle. As you can see here, this is in past participle, stole. So steal, stole, and stolen, right? Stole past, stolen past participle. Again, you have the expression by the thief. By the thief. You need to consider the agent. You use the preposition by. Then we have another example. Someone, take a look at this example. Someone identify the suspect, and then you put over here the subject, and then you put was identified, because as you can see, also identify is in past. So that's why I'm using was. And then I have identify in past participle. In this case, I'm using as a subject in my first original sentence in the active, I'm using someone. So here, as you can see in the agent, I've considered, or I've decided not to mention it. So I just put, or I just leave that in blank. The suspect was identified. So you know that somebody has done this action. The suspect was identified. Sometimes they want to keep that information secret for your personal security or for the witness security, right? The passive of an active tense is formed by putting the verb to be, as you mentioned in the chat. You mentioned that to be is the main protagonist of this tense. So to be into the same tense as the active verb. That's what I mentioned. For example, in the examples that I've shown you, I've used only simple past. That's why we have been using was. But imagine that my sentence is in present, so I will have to decide if I need to use am, is, or are. If I'm talking about the future, so I will have to put will be. And after be, you need to consider the past participle of the verb. The subject of the active verb becomes the agent. Right? El sujeto que tenías en tu oración original is the agent of the passive verb. And the agent is very often not mentioned. When it is mentioned, it is preceded by the word or by the preposition by and placed at the end of the clause. For example, my grandfather planted this tree. So I want to make emphasis on the action. This tree was planted by my grandfather. So I'm mentioning the agent. That's why I'm using by. Mhm. Another example, the active and passive, like you can see in this picture, the police catch some criminals. So you have over here, the police is your subject. Take a look at this verb, it's in present, catch. And then you have some criminals. If you see, the object is going to be my new subject, some criminals. Since the first sentence, the active sentence, is in present, I'm using over here are. Why am I using are? Because my subject, my new subject, is plural. It's a plural subject. That's why I'm using are. And take a look at catch. Look, catch, how it has been transformed into caught. Because I'm using the past participle. Excellent. You have the subject to be the participle by and the object. Here we have the by. Sometimes, as I mentioned, it can be omitted. And then you have the last part, the police. See, you see, I'm changing the positions of the elements so that it has a different intention. The action or the focus is on the action of the sentence, not the person who performs the action, but the action itself. Okay? So let's move. Here on this slide, I'm giving you the chart that we need to study to understand how to make sentences from active to passive. For example, I've considered different situations. Different tenses. You have the first tense, present, simple present. What's the to be? Is. You want to make a negative? Is not. Present progressive is not and being. Remember something here. It's not only is, you can also use am or are. The same thing right here. You can use am or are. Simple past, we have was not. And also we can have were not. I'm considering writing was because my subject was the crime. Only for this part, because I have the crime. I'm considering using only the verb to be in singular, but you know that there are some other options that you can use, okay? Don't forget about it. Okay, the next tense is past progressive, the same thing. Was not being, you can also have were not being. The future, as I mentioned, it has two different options. It could be will not be or is not going to be. And every time you have is, that means that you can have an and are. What's another tense? Another tense that we have over here is the present perfect. When you have the present perfect, you have has not been, and also you have the other auxiliary, have not. Our next tense is past perfect. Over here, there is no change, only had not been. The future perfect, again, will not have been. One thing that you can see on this column is that we always used to be. Is, are, was, be, being. So we are always using verb to be. Okay. And after that, we have this, the past participle. When you have regular verbs, there is not need to be worried. The worriness comes when you have to use irregular verbs because you need, as I said in my previous class, you need to memorize them. You need to find a strategy so that you can remember them and learn them by heart. Okay. And then the last column is optional. You can use by or you can omit it. By the new thing. That's why it's in parentheses. In parentheses symbolizes that you can use it or not. And the intention is going to be clear of the meaning, right? So study this chart because it's going to help you to do your evaluation and also the exercises that comes next. Okay, number one, let's practice. Can you help me, please? Number one, it says, the cake by my grandmother. It was delicious. And then you have the verb bake. Very good. Don't forget to use to be, Luis, because we are using passive voice. If we are talking about simple past, that's okay, your answer. But today we are using passive voice. So the first element, it's going to be all the time, the first element. Since it's going to be the cake, so my first step is this. I'm realizing that the sentence is in past. Me acabo de dar cuenta que está en past. So to complete the sentence, I'm going to put here the cake, singular, was or were. When you have a singular subject in past, what do you use? Was or were? Was. Very good. And then our next step was to put that verb in parentheses in past participle. Since this is a regular verb, you will say the at the end, was baked. So the cake was baked by my grandmother. It was delicious. This is passive voice, you know. I'm using verb to be and I'm using the past participle of the verb. Okay, what about number two? Let's work on number two. The book by many people before it became a bestseller. Excellent. This is an irregular verb, and in its participle form remains the same, right? Read, read, read. The book was read by many people before it became a bestseller. Very good. Excellent. What about number three? The car in the garage overnight. Excellent. Was parked. Was parked in the garage overnight. As you can see in number three, I don't consider, or I haven't considered the subject or the agent. Not necessary, because it could be done by any person. Number four, the problem by our team, and it was successfully solved. Excellent. What's tackle? And what's the meaning of tackle? What's the meaning of tackle? Do you have any idea about this word? Tackle? Excellent. Very good. Miguel, dealt or deal with. to be able to solve something, right? To find a solution to a problem. No matter how hard it looks, you will find a solution. Okay, what about number 5? The painting by a famous artist, and recently it was sold for millions of dollars. Good. Was created. Excellent. Continue with the next examples. We have even more examples. Help me out, please. In number 6, the letter by the time I found it in my mailbox. Was delivered. Very good. Number 7. The new software update was implemented by the IT department, so it will improve system performance. Number 8, the ancient ruins by archaeologists, and they dated back to the Roman Empire. Cambiamos, ¿verdad? We change, right? Not was, but where. Were discovered. Were discovered by archaeologists, and they dated back. Yeah, very good. The movie by critics as one of the year's best films. Very good. Was praised. And what's the meaning of praised? What do we understand by this word, praise? The movie was praised by critics as one of the year's best films. Any ideas with the word praise? The meaning? Excellent. Similar to compliment or congratulate somebody for their good or excellent job. What about number 10? The valuable, thank you very much. The valuable jewelry. During the burglary, unfortunately, it has not been recovered yet. Excellent. Was stolen. Because we are using the third column of the verbs. Past participle. Let's make wrap up of passive voice. The first intention that I mentioned is when you don't know who performed the action, or it's not important to say who performed it. For example, we can say this: the money was stolen. You can say, or you don't know, or you don't want to mention who did the action, but you know that some money is missing. The same thing with this intention. The plane was refueled by a company, by a worker, anything. So that's our first part, that we need to use the passive voice in these situations. Then another intention is when you want to avoid mentioning who performed the action. You want to avoid, you don't want to say it because you want to keep it as a secret or in reserve. For example, information is known that has been released. So somebody who works in that department has done this action, but you don't want to mention because you don't want to expose the person. Okay? You don't want to say it. You know who did the action or that bad action, but you want to keep it in secret just for you. And the other, I was given some bad advice. Maybe your best friend, maybe a relative, and we don't want to say who the advice came from. Next, another situation when we use the passive voice is when you want to focus on the receiver, on the result of an action instead of on the agent. For example, this intention. The thief was caught. You can say, or it's already understood by the police officers, or sometimes by people in the community when they want or when they are suffering from too many crimes. They decided to gather together to defend their community and they caught the thieves, right? Emma, which is the title of a book, was written by Jane Austen. So, as you can see here in this picture, you are mentioning the name or the title of the book, and then you are telling me the author. Mhm. The focus is not the author. The focus is the title, because maybe it caught your attention, Emma, or it has a different name that might interested you. So you mention here. Okay, circle the correct answers in these situations that we have over here. These four situations. Which one? Try to read. It says, right now, a new hotel is being constructed downtown. Sorry, not the first option or the second option? Mm-hmm. Very good. So this is the correct way to complete the sentence. Is being constructed. Mhm. What about number two? Analyze number two and please try to participate in the chat telling me A or B. This is going to be option A, and this can be considered option B. Mhm. Mhm. Thank you. You say letter A. The thieves were caught when they tried to spend stolen money. Very good. What about number three? The same thing. A or B? Mhm. Thank you. A or B? Number three. A. Okay. And the number 4, A or B? Mhm. Very good. Letter A. The suspects won't have been arrested by this weekend. Mhm. Okay, now we are going to do this exercise. This exercise is going to be completed with this verb, report. And also, you will have to focus on what you have in parentheses so that you can complete the verb or the sentence in the correct tense. The 4 sentences are going to use this verb, report. Okay? Let's try to work on this. For example, I have the first sentence, and in parentheses, they have told me to use simple present with the verb report. So, the news, what are you going to use? Remember that after the news, which is the new subject, you need to use to be. For the simple present, what form of to be will you use? Mhm. Okay, but remember that we are using passive voice. After the news, we need to put a verb to be to make it in passive. Mhm. Do you remember the structure? Here, I have to use this. The news is also singular, right? Yeah. Is simple present with report, reported. That's going to be number 1, right? The news is reported daily. Next, in number 2, they say present progressive. They say present progressive. You need to put this sentence in present progressive. If you don't remember, please go back to the chart where I show you all the different combinations with the different tenses and try to look for this, the present progressive. Is the first thing. Then progressive, be with ing. And after that, you put report. Okay. It's being reported. Thank you, Miguel. The news is being reported. Check the chart. Revisemos el cuadrito, la tabla, where I explain the different tenses with the passive voice. Okay, what about number 3? Present perfect. What do we need? How can we complete number 3? What about the rest? What about the other participants? Do you check the chart? with the different tenses. Very good, Mercedes. Excellent, right? When we work in present perfect, first of all, we need to decide which auxiliary I'm going to use in present perfect, have or has. In this case, the news, we are going to use has. And after that, I need to use to be in past participle, being. And my main verb, report, in past participle as well, reported. So the news has been reported twice today. Mhm. And the last one, the last example, number 4. X simple past. Verb to be in past was. This the main verb in past participle. Very good. The news was reported an hour ago. An hour ago. Very good. Thank you. Continue. Past progressive. The news was, right? Okay. Past progressive. Very good. Being was being reported. Past perfect had been and reported, right? Okay, now can you do number 7? Simple future. Simple future, we can use it with will or be going to. Sorry. Will be reported. Excellent. Future perfect. Excellent. Will have been reported. Excellent. Thank you so much for participating over here. By or with? By or with when we talk about the agent in passive voice. In the passive voice, we use by with the agent to refer to by whom the action is being done. For example, the door was opened by Mr. Black. We use with to refer to the instrument, object, or material that was used for something to be done. For example, the door was opened with a key by my sister. Also, you can complete it. You can also add more elements. Okay, you can add the agent to mention by whom the action is being done. Okay, so you can use these two words, by or with, in passive voice. Mhm. Another example, the omelette was made with eggs, cheese, and peppers. The materials you are using to prepare the omelette or the ingredients are eggs, cheese, and peppers. Those are the ingredients that we use or were used to prepare the omelette. So you can use by or and also with. Okay. Further practice. Let's do this. Complete the sentences with the correct passive form of the verbs in brackets. And we can use the present, only the present simple. Let's work some of them. English. Excellent. Present simple is spoken. Very good. What about letter B? Mhm. The post is delivered at about 7 o'clock every morning. Question. Yes. In present simple, when you talk about passive voice or when you use passive voice, you put the present of to be, is, are, and the next verb has to be in past participle according to the structure. So is spoken, is delivered, is taught. All the time, the structure is like that. You use the present simple, is, are. Okay, letter C, question. The buildings use anymore. Letter D, how often? How often? Excellent. Are the Olympic Games held? Very good. Okay. So let's continue doing the other examples on your own. Let's continue with our next slide with the past simple so that we can have time for other activities. Okay, past simple. My car. Here in past simple, remember, you need to decide between was and were, and then a verb in past participle. My car was, right? Was repaired. Very good. Was repaired. This song excellent. Wasn't or was not written. Excellent. Question. Let's make a question. Excellent. Was the phone answered by a young girl? And letter D. The film. Very good. Was made 10 years ago. Question. When? When was tennis invented? Excellent. Letter F. Wasn't. Excellent. Wasn't was not damaged. The original building. Very good. Okay, our last question. Was pulled down in 1965. Where? Letter H. Where was this pot made? Excellent. And the last? When was this bridge built? Past participle. Thank you so much. We are gonna have a game. I'm gonna share it here with you. Okay. Please go inside. Click in. Are you there? What is saying in this slide? Sometimes we use the passive voice because we don't know or do not want to express who performed the action. True or false? Excellent. Mhm. Okay, in a passive voice sentence, the subject goes at the end. In a passive voice sentence, the subject goes at the end. True or false? Remember, in active voice, in an active voice, take a look at this. You are forgetting something that I mentioned. Look at this here. Take a look at this example. You have the subject. Look at this. Look at the subject. The subject in a passive voice goes at the end. True or false? Is at the end. So the subject in the active voice, when you put it into passive, your subject becomes the agent, goes at the end. So it is true. Mhm. Exactly. Let's see. Mhm. True. We always include the agent, doer of the action in the passive. Ex- Excellent. True. Sorry, you say false. But my bad, my bad. I'm so sorry about it. The object of the verb becomes the subject of the sentence. The object of the verb becomes the subject of the sentence. The object of the verb becomes the subject. True. Very good. Mhm. All sentences can be turned into the passive. All the sentences. True or false? All the sentences are possible to turn it into passive. True, I guess. And what about false? What do I mark? True or false? I will say false. Or what do you want me to change? To check. True or false? True? Oh, it's false. There are some sentences that are not possible to make it into passive. In a passive voice sentence, the subject is called the agent. In a passive voice sentence, the subject is called the agent. True, right? Si nos vamos a nuestro, if we go to our explanation, the subject becomes the agent. the subject over here becomes the agent. This is what it says here, right? The subject is called the agent. True. Excellent. Very good. Okay, let's do our next game. Okay, I need your help. You have the link in the chat. When is the new dictionary suppose published? Excellent. Good. Number 2, the printing press. A, B, or C? B. Very good. Number 3, some authors object to what to do with the editors. A, B, or C? B? B, and this here, or another option? Or C? Estefania, Miguel, B, over here? Yeah. Okay. Suggested that reading helps to improve memory. And over here, A, B, or C? C? Okay, C. It has been. ¿No? Se ha dicho, it has been. The old bookshop in the center of the town was destroyed. Excellent, yes. Was destroyed by fire in fire of fire. I think it's the first one, right? By fire, the agent. Her first novel was described a modern masterpiece by critics. Excellent. 7. The paper that ancient writers used was made A, B, or C? Of papyrus. And the last one, all of the books on the shelves were covered by dust. Excellent. Thanks for participating. Our next game to review. Here you have the link in the chat. Okay, let's see. My sister, a new mobile phone for her birthday. A, B, C, or D? Hmm. Help me, please. A, B, C, or D? I'm running out of time. That was even. Okay, again. Let's do it. The report of coronavirus every day informs, is informed, are informed. Excellent, thank you. Number 2, a lot of meal in Argentina. A lot of meat. A, Stefania? Okay, thank you. Very good. Number 3, Microsoft by Bill Gates. Was created. Very good. Thank you. Number 4, coffee in Colombia. B, B, okay. One more B. No more B's. Yes, is grown in Colombia. The famous Toy Story films by Pixar. A, good. All the topics in the meeting last Friday. The book Rayuela by Julio Cortázar was written. Okay, number 8. My sister a new mobile phone for her birthday. A, gives, was given? Yes, right? C, okay, thank you. Number 9. A wax figure of Lady Gaga at Madame Tussauds last year. Last year, was displayed. Number 10. Mercedes-Benz cars are made in Germany. Yes, 2 more. Okay, 11. The best computers by Apple. Are made by Apple. Yeah. In this one, this great exercise by my teacher. Was prepared by my teachers. Thank you so much. In our last activity, our last game is this one. Thank you. Will you share the link here? Yeah, you have the link also. Okay, let's see. Turn the sentences into passive. Turn the sentences into passive. Someone brought the ice cream for the party. How can you change this sentence? Excellent. The ice cream is the new subject. Brought is in past, was brought for the party. Someone is not necessary to mention. You can omit it. Thank you. Michael, let's do it. Someone cleans the windows. Someone cleans the windows. Uh, 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 uh. Be careful. Be careful because the sentence is in present tense. Excellent, Stefania. The windows are clean. Very good. Hmm? Okay. They tidy the bedroom every weekend. They tidy the bedroom every weekend. Also, present simple. The bedroom is tidy every weekend. Very good. Okay, one more. One more. You will have lots of sentences that you can use to practice. Okay. This is repeated once again. Let's turn around the wheel. Okay, this is new. They gave her the prize. They gave her the prize. She was given the prize. Excellent. She was given the prize. Excellent. Very good. Good, good, good. Thank you for participating. Such wonderful students. Now I'm going to share with you a listening material. I want you to listen carefully. And then after you finish listening, we are going to share some questions and your ideas. Okay? You can watch the video or listen to the video, please. About this. Listening activity. The name of the activity is The Perfect Crime. Please let me know when you finish listening. Did you finish listening? Finish? Okay. Excellent. Okay. According to the audio, what is the occasion for Alice and Henry? Their baby's birthday, their wedding anniversary, a friend's wedding, or Henry's birthday? Mhm. Their wedding anniversary. Who is Kathy mentioned in the transcript or in the audio? Who is Kathy? Alice's baby son, a friend coming over, Alice's best friend, or Henry's colleague? What about number 2? A, Kathy. But in A, it says song. They mention a song. And Kathy is a name for a girl. It couldn't be this word or this letter. No, this is not. A, no. It's not the correct answer. Another, a ver. You have 3 more options. Alice's best friend. That's Katie. In the listening, they were talking about a woman. So, who is that woman? Alice's best friend or Henry's colleague? Number 3. How does Alice react to Henry's revelation? She's surprised. She's angry. She's indifferent. She's happy. Excellent. She is angry. Very good. Okay, let's continue. True or false? Alice and Henry are celebrating their wedding anniversary. True. Alice is happy about Henry's confession. False. Faithy is Alice's sister. False. The baby's name is Bobby. False. Henry is dead at the beginning of the audio or transcript. Detective Perry is investigating the case. So, what happened in the audio? What did you listen about? A happy story? What was the listening material about? A sad story. Was it a crime? Yes, a murder. Very good. Who was murdered? Affair and murder. Very good. But who was? Who was murdered? Henry, Alice, Bobby, Kathy. Alice's husband, Henry. Who killed Henry? Alice. Why do you think that happened? Why was Henry murdered? Why? He betrayed his wife, right? He cheated on her with Kathy. And Alice was jealous. Alice was mad. And she committed a crime, right? She committed a murder. But At the end of the audio, was she arrested? She wasn't. Excellent. No. So it would be considered a perfect crime? Excellent. In the listening, they mentioned a statue. What was happening to the statue? Excellent, Mercedes. The statue, what was happening to the statue? Oh, let me change the question. Was it cold or hot? Melt. Very good, Mercedes. It was melting. Very good. And since it was melting, that means that the statue was made of what? Excellent. Ice. The statue was made of ice. And also, it was a hot weather, right? Ice. Very good. Question number 2 in this part. Why, number 2, why is Bobby not going to miss Henry? Yeah, the kitchen was hot. Why is Bobby not going to miss Henry? Or why Henry is not going to be missed by Bobby? Bobby is the little son, right? Alice's and Henry's son. Why is Bobby not going to miss Henry? Yeah, I know. He's dead, but because he is just a baby, right? Just a baby. That's what they mentioned in the audio. It's a baby, so he's not gonna miss his father because he's not gonna be raised by him. Okay. How is Alice's behavior towards Detective Perry and the police officers? How is she reacting according to the audio? Is she acting suspicious? Is she acting calm? How is she behaving? She pretends to be innocent. She wants the police officers believe that it was a burglar. Excellent. Good. Thank you for your participation. Here you have the transcript of what you have heard and some reading time. In the heart of the city, a grand gala was in full swing in the prestigious Artisan Gallery. The occasion was the unveiling of a priceless painting called Moonlit Secrets. The renowned artist, Olivia Reed, had poured her heart into it. As the clock struck midnight, the lights dimmed for the dramatic reveal. But when they flickered back on, gasps filled the room. The painting had vanished. Detective Alex Brooks, a skilled investigator known for his keen intuition, was immediately summoned to the scene. The gallery was abuzz with whispers and speculation. The security footage show a shadowy figure entering the gallery just before midnight, but their identity remained concealed. Among the attendees was a wealthy art collector named Victor Blackwood. His reputation for acquiring valuable art at any cost had raised suspicions. Detective Brooks knew he needed to gather evidence before jumping to conclusions. He interviewed witnesses and examined the crime scene for any clues. A witness recalled seeing a peculiar man in a tuxedo near the painting just before the lights went out. The man's alibi was shaky. He claimed to have been in the restroom at the time of the heist. Detective Brooks decided to conduct a thorough interrogation. During the interrogation, the man's alibi fell apart under scrutiny. He had no evidence to support his claims. Detective Brooks felt he was getting closer to unraveling the mystery. The crime scene was re-examined, and hidden behind a curtain, they found a small, valuable clue, a diamond cufflink with intricate engravings. Forensic experts were called in to analyze the cufflink for fingerprints and any other evidence. As the investigation progressed, the motive became clear. Victor Blackwood had orchestrated the heist to add moonlit secrets to his collection. He had paid the man in the tuxedo to distract the attendees while he executed his plan. With mounting evidence against him, Victor Blackwood was arrested. The cufflink linked him to the crime scene, and his financial records indicated a sudden increase in his art collection's value. The painting was recovered from a secret compartment in his mansion, hidden in plain sight. The mystery of the stolen painting had been unraveled through careful investigation teamwork and a series of discoveries. Detective Alex Brooks had successfully cracked the case, and Moonlit Secrets found its way back to the Artisan Gallery, where it continued to captivate art enthusiasts from around the world. So this is my story, and the first question is, what was the occasion at the Artisan Gallery? Our first question. What was the occasion? Uh-huh. Excellent. What was the occasion? The occasion is that they were trying to unveiling a priceless painting, right? They are going to show a new painting which costs a lot of money. Yeah. Second question, number two. It's gonna be this. What was the name of the painting? What was the name of the painting? Moonlit Secrets. Very good. Who was the artist behind the painting? Olivia Reed. And what happened with when the lights dim for the dramatic reveal? What happened? The painting was stolen. Very good. You see, you are using passive voice. Thank you so much for doing that. Who was Detective Alex Brooks? And why was he summoned to the scene? Mhm. Alex Brooks, who was he? A renowned, right? Renowned detective, famous, very smart, and capable of solving any difficult case, right? A skilled investigator. Very good. Mhm. Okay, what about this one? What did the security footage show just before midnight? Mhm. What about number 6? The security footage, a shadowy figure. Very good. Who was Victor Blackwood? Who was Victor Blackwood? Mhm. Very good. A painting collector. And why did Detective Brooks decide to gather evidence before jumping to conclusions? A wealthy art collector. Very good, Stefania. Mhm. Excellent. Mhm. Because more evidence was required. You need to be sure before saying your final decision, right? Excellent. Mhm. Okay. Number 9. What was the man's alibi? Who was seen near the painting? Mhm. What was the man's alibi? Mhm. He was, or he had been in the restroom. Mhm. And the last question. What did Detective Brooks find hidden behind a curtain at the crime scene? Mhm. Very good. A diamond. Thank you very much. Let's continue. So we are going to make some sentences based on the elements I'm going to show you. For example, you have these 4 elements. You have soup, you have soup, you have the girl, you have the verb eat, and this is the tense, tomorrow. You will need to create a sentence in passive voice with this tense, future, and the other three elements. For example, the soup, future, excellent, Estefania, will be eaten by the girl. That's what you have to do. Identify the tense and use the other elements to make your sentence in passive voice. Is that clear, my dear students? Yes, let's do our second example. Okay, number 2. The tense is now. The tense is present. Use the other elements, carrots, rabbit, eat. Very good. The carrots, very good, are eaten by the rabbit, right? Now. Oopsie. Over here, okay. The carrots, all carrots are eaten now. You can also use the animal. Good, 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 excellent. Next. Number 3. Yesterday. Your tense is yesterday. Here, yesterday. Very good. Miguel, Stefania. Good. So you say the house yesterday was clean. That's it. Yesterday. You can also add the doer, like by my mom, by my sister, by me, by myself. So, if you want, that's okay. Next. Number 4. Future. Now, you have future. Future tense. Car, not drive. Very good. The car will not, future, will not be driven. Also, you can say the car is not going to be driven, right? Another future, another way of doing or making a sentence in future, be going to. The car is not going to be driven. Okay, let's continue. I think there is one more. You can have that as a further practice. Here you have your takeaways about the passive voice, another chart that you can use to practice using passive voice in the different tenses. And that's all for today. I'm going to ask Miss Monica to share some things with you because today you have your exam, and if you have any questions, Miss Monica is going to help you to dissipate any doubts. Miss Monica, are you there?
Muchísimas gracias, maestra Jenny.
Mhm.
Muchísimas gracias, maestra Jenny, por la clase impartida. Fue una excelente clase. Estimados participantes, felicitarles a cada uno de ustedes por haber culminado nuestra última sesión de clase. El examen ya se encuentra en su grupo de WhatsApp. Sí, por favor, ya vayan verificando. Y recuerde que usted tendrá habilitado hasta el día domingo para que pueda realizar el siguiente examen. Sí, hora 11:59 de la noche para que usted pueda realizar el siguiente examen. Hagamos un solo clic en el siguiente enlace y ya me estará mandando al siguiente formulario. Por ejemplo, hagamos un solo clic. Muy bien, ya me mandó al siguiente formulario del examen. Cuando se tramite el certificado tendrá estos beneficios: código QR, código único de registro, campus virtual habilitado por más de 2 años, habilitado 24/7. Primeramente usted tiene que llenar sus datos correspondientes, su correo electrónico, sus apellidos y nombres. Por favor, tiene que ser mayúscula porque trabajamos con la RENIEC. Asimismo, su número de DNI, y si usted es de otro país o canal de extranjería, su número de celular, lo que es activo, por favor, y su país o departamento. Así contarán con 10 preguntitas. Usted, una vez que haya respondido a las preguntas, tiene que ubicarse en la parte final y hacer un solo clic en enviar, y ya se envió el siguiente examen. Usted puede ver su puntaje en ver puntuación. Si usted tiene una nota mayor e igual a 14, ya se puede comunicar con la oficina de certificación con el siguiente enlace que está aquí. Hagamos un solo clic y ya me estará mandando a la oficina. Sí, muy bien, hago solamente un solo clic y ya me está mandando. O sea, solamente tiene que hacer un solo clic y chat y ya se estará comunicando con la oficina de certificación, sí, para su trámite de su certificado. De igual manera, les dejo su número de contacto de la oficina y el siguiente enlace para que usted pueda hacer su trámite de su certificado si tiene una nota mayor e igual a 14. Si desea realizar una contribución a nuestra institución, el Tecnológico por lo aprendiz, usted es jubilado, ¿no? Y desea realizar una contribución a nuestra institución, se puede comunicar con el siguiente numerito o con el siguiente enlace. De igual manera, adjunto cuenta de depósitos que sale a nombre de la señorita Raquel Maijo Guaraca, y también contamos con YAPE que sale a nombre de nuestra institución, el Tecnológico. En breve les voy a explicar sobre el certificado. Muy bien, al finalizar el curso usted obtendrá un certificado con mención en inglés avanzado C1 a nombre de nuestra institución. El certificado sale a nombre de nuestra institución, sí, y también recuerda que el certificado sale con 90 horas académicas. Si usted me pregunta, señorita, ¿por qué sale con 90 horas académicas? Claro que así sale, porque cuando usted va a tramitar tendrá como regalo el campus virtual habilitado por más de 2 años. ¿Cómo estaremos en contacto? Por esa razón sale con 90 horas académicas. Para que usted pueda tramitar, tiene que tener una nota mayor e igual a 14. El costo es muy simbólico de 30 soles para mantener sostenible nuestra institución y para seguir brindando más cursos gratuitos. El trámite es opcional, pero como institución les recomendamos que tramiten un certificado. Recuerda que el certificado avala tu conocimiento. Como vemos en la pantallita, es el nuevo diseño del certificado del año 2023. En la parte izquierda va sus datos de usted, por ejemplo, sus apellidos y nombres, el nombre del curso, su nota y la fecha de emisión. En la parte más abajo va la firma del gerente y la firma de la directora. Y en la parte más abajo va todas las entidades que tiene convenio con nuestra institución. Y en la parte derecha va todo el tema que hemos aprendido durante nuestras 2 semanas de capacitación. En la parte más abajo va el sistema de código de validación, que es el código QR. Los participantes que van a tramitar tendrán como regalo el campus virtual. En el campus virtual usted va a encontrar materiales, manuales y recursos adicionales. Y también recuerda que el certificado cuenta con un sistema de código de validación, que es el código QR. Para mayor información, por favor, comunicarse con la oficina de certificación con el siguiente numerito que es de la pantallita para su trámite de su certificado, ¿sí? Muy bien, asimismo hacemos envíos a nivel nacional. De manera digital se envía a su WhatsApp personal por PDF y por otro lado que hacemos envíos de manera física a nivel nacional. Nuestra institución trabaja con la empresa Shalom. Pues la empresa Shalom tiene un costo de 15 soles el envío. Sí, si usted tiene amigos, familiares, amistades, podemos hacer un solo envío. Usted tal vez tiene 5 certificados o 6 certificados, de igual manera usted solo haría un solo pago por un solo envío por la empresa Shalom, que tiene un costo de 15 soles. El día lunes estaré enviando la lista de aprobados y se enviará un cronograma a su grupo de WhatsApp. Asimismo, los participantes que tengan una nota mayor e igual a 14 se estará pasando directamente al curso de inglés avanzado C2. Sí, muy bien, en breve les voy a mostrar sobre el campus virtual. En el campus virtual usted va a encontrar, por ejemplo, materiales, manuales y recursos adicionales. El campus se va a alimentar y se va a actualizar cuando se dé el curso. Por ejemplo, el curso se realizó en el mes de marzo, ¿sí? Marzo, julio, agosto, septiembre, noviembre. Y también contarán con recursos adicionales. El campus se va a alimentar y se va a actualizar cuando se dé el curso. Recuerda que usted tendrá habilitado por más de 2 años. En breve les voy a mostrar sobre la validación. Cuando usted se presente a una entidad contratante, la entidad contratante tendrá que escanear su certificado y le va a mandar a nuestro sistema. Sí, muy bien. La entidad contratante tendrá que insertar su número de su DNI de usted. Por ejemplo, aquí tendrá que insertar su número de su DNI de usted aquí y hacer un solo clic soy humano y le va a filtrar el registro, sus nombres, apellidos, el curso y la fecha de emisión. Por más que usted haya llevado en el año 2021 o 2022, de igual manera le va a filtrar todos los cursos que usted ha llevado, ¿sí? Muy bien, asimismo, invitarles a seguir nuestra página, que ya contamos con más de 20 cursos gratuitos habilitados para el mes de diciembre. Por ejemplo, ¿cómo yo me puedo registrar un curso gratuito? Claro que sí, solo me ubico en el curso que yo deseo participar. Por ejemplo, puede ser el curso de Inglés Avanzado C2. Sí, muy bien, solo me ubico en el siguiente enlace. Hago un solo clic y ya me estará mandando al siguiente formulario. Sí, muy bien, viene la modelo de estudio, el temario, los beneficios, los requisitos y su respectiva asistente y el siguiente enlace. Si usted solamente tiene que hacer un solo clic en el siguiente enlace y ya le estará mandando al grupo del curso que usted ha seleccionado. Sí, usted solamente tiene que hacer un solo clic, unirme al chat y ya será parte del curso de inglés avanzado C2. Sí, asimismo estamos eternamente agradecidos con cada uno de ustedes por ser parte de nuestra familia y también por confiar en nuestra institución. Que tengan una bonita tarde y una bonita semana muy bendecida para cada uno de ustedes. Si tienen alguna consulta, duda o dificultad, me pueden estar consultando para poderlos ayudar a cada uno de ustedes. Muy buenas tardes, queridos estimados participantes. Nos vemos en los próximos cursos.